And we are live at Pete Matthews Coliseum on the campus of Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama, as the TV24 Holiday Showcase 2015 continues. John Holder along with Gerhard Mathengani. Mickey Shadricks will be along on the sidelines today as we get ready for already game number 3 of all day and all night basketball. Ought to be a fantastic game between Geraldine and Jacksonville. Gerhard coming up in just a couple of moments.
Absolutely. It's kind of two contrasting styles in the way they play basketball. Also two contrasting ways in they schedule. Geraldine's already played 8 games so far. November 9th was the first time the HSAA allows teams to schedule basketball games. Jacksonville scheduled their first game December 1st. Coach Ryan Chambliss wanted his team to be able to get good footing early on in the season, so push the start date a little bit later. They only have 4 games under their belt they played last night.
Yeah, Geraldine has played 8 games. Jacksonville has played 4 games.
Right.
We'll talk more about Geraldine in just a moment, some of the tough schedule they played and some of the tough schedule that Jacksonville played as well. Starting lineups are being introduced right now to the folks here at the Jacksonville State University at the Coliseum. Geraldine Bulldogs will be the visitor. Jacksonville Golden Eagles will be the home team. Starting lineups for Geraldine will be senior Colby Lee Mincy, number 2. Austin Willoughby. Also, you've got Brady Gilbert, Justin Murphy, and Cade White. Those will be the starters for the Geraldine Bulldogs. For the Jacksonville Golden Eagles, Cam Horton. That's the guy. 33 points last night against White Plains. Also, Ryban Hill, Tay Ackles, Casey Troll, and Martavius Long. Those will be the starters for the Jacksonville Golden Eagles as they are 1-3 on the season. Geraldine comes in at 6-2. Basically, Geraldine started off the season and they lost 2 of their first 3 games, but since that time they have won 5 out of their last 6 to get them to a 6-2 record. And, you know, last year Geraldine came down and played in this about a year ago in our very first Holiday Classic. They played a very highly thought of and highly regarded Sacs team,
right,
and they won that basketball game, and they're trying to come back down here and beat another Calhoun County team here in the Holiday Classic.
It's a very interesting thing what Coach Cale Black is doing with his scheduling with Geraldine. He wants to be sure that his team is tested by other teams that will make it into the playoffs. He obviously thinks very highly of Coach Ryan Chambliss that you see there, and the Jacksonville Golden Eagles scheduling them at this venue because this is an area, this is a situation that every team wants to be in February here at Pete Matthews Coliseum. We talked about Geraldine's 6-2 record. They've also scored 70 points twice this season, 73 in a win over St. Clair County, 71 over Sardis. So this team can put the ball in the basket.
Both of these teams kind of jumping up in class here with some of their early games. Jacksonville's lone win was their opener by 4 over Weaver. Since that time, they played 5A Central of Clay, 5A Etowah. Then they lost last night in their first area game in 4A play at White Plains. Great atmosphere out there, a 23-point loss. And then you look at Geraldine. They played 5A Springville. They played 4A Crossville, 5A Boaz, 4A Sardis, 5A St. Clair County. A lot of those were wins, so both of these teams used to stepping up in competition.
Yeah, and that's what helps you out at the beginning of the year. You really don't know where your area is going to bring you. So some teams will coach to get some wins early on and get some confidence built. Other teams will coach and make sure their teams get playoff experience with playoff teams, playoff caliber teams. You might hurt your win-loss record, but at the end of the day, you actually get a chance to play some quality competition. Over the last 2 years, Geraldine has won 20 games. 20 games last year, went 20-8 last year, lost to Brindley Mountain in the area tournament. Also won 20 games back in the 2013-14 season. So this is a team that's very, very used to winning, and so we'll see how they do today against Jacksonville with their coach Ryan Chambliss.
We are ready for tip-off. We've got an issue at the scorers table right now. We're trying to get that figured out. So you see Ryan Chambliss there, head coach of the Jacksonville Golden Eagles, giving his team some last-minute instruction. And we will see, as Mickey Shadricks pointed out just a couple of moments ago, don't let this throw you off here. You're going to see both teams in dark colors. Typically you don't see that, but we are going to see that in this game because of a scheduling conflict. But both teams are now on the floor, this new floor here at JSU. Not really a circle out there. That's one of the unique things about this. You know, we usually have a circle out there.
Right.
We really don't see that, so they're going to jump at the half-court line. And the opening tip's going to be controlled by the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. That'll go over to Ryban Hill. Hill with the point guard, Cam Horton. Horton 33 last night against White Plains in a losing effort. First shot is off, no good by Hill. And the rebound is going to be taken inside, and there'll be a travel call on the big guy, Casey Troll. Troll's a senior. He looks to me to be, what, 6'7", maybe 6'8". He has no problem touching the rim and dunking. I saw that in the warm-ups.
Easily. Size advantage goes to Jacksonville there, especially in the low post with Troll.
A near steal by Martavius Long, another senior on this Jacksonville team, almost stealing the pass. The first pass of the game made by Geraldine. So aggressive play by Jacksonville here in this first 30 seconds.
It's exactly what you'll see here early on, especially with these two teams. They shoot the ball pretty well, so you know the defense will step up as well. As fadeaway shot is no good from Geraldine.
Geraldine shot by Cade White, off no good. Good rebound by Jacksonville. Jacksonville looking to push it into the front court. This is Horton. Baseline, the drive to Tay Ackles. Ackles' shot is off no good, and the rebound taken by Geraldine.
You'll see a lot of the penetration basketball from this Jacksonville team. They get a lot of it really well, and Geraldine with their first points at the basket.
Three-point shot by White. White on the inside, 6'4", but look at that, going outside and knocking down the three.
Good range, and that's exactly how you keep a strong defensive team away from you. Make them respect the three-point shot by getting out there and burying those three-pointers.
Geraldine extending the defense. Out on Cam Horton. Horton did the alley-oop to Troll. Troll's shot is off no good. Rebound comes right back outside to Horton. So an alley-oop to Troll. Now Horton with the rebound and the shot off no good. The long rebound going to be controlled by Geraldine's Brady Gilbert. Gilbert into the front court. Thought about a three. Goes deep into the corner again. They go over there to Cade White. White shot is off no good. Jacksonville one-on-one to the other end. Ball is knocked away. Troll comes up with it. Now looking outside. Shot going to be put up by Tay Ackles. His shot is off no good. Rebound controlled by Horton.
Good reset here by Jacksonville. Make sure you get your half-court system in.
Horton back to Ackles. Penetrates inside. Shot is off the back of the iron. No good. Troll's rebound and put back is partially blocked. And the ball goes over to Geraldine. Austin Willoughby penetrating inside, puts up an underhanded shot, kind of wild, out of control. And Troll right now making his presence felt on the inside for Jacksonville. Outlet pass goes ahead to Ackles. It's going to be knocked away and stolen by Justin Murphy. Outside, another three-point shot is up and good by Brady Gilbert. And the three-pointers have been very good to the Geraldine Bulldogs.
It's a very good shooting basketball team. They don't win 20 games for no reason there. You can't leave them wide open like that. He knocks down another three-pointer for Geraldine.
Going to go inside to Long. Long has the ball knocked away, and Geraldine doing a good job of knocking the ball away from Jacksonville and creating turnovers in the front court. They'll reset the offense now, will Geraldine. This is Willoughby. He's the point guard. He'll set the offense. Penetration by Murphy. Murphy's going to be fouled. That'll be the first foul of the game, whistled against Jacksonville. So Geraldine right now creating some turnovers. Ball, good looks at the basket by Jacksonville. They just can't get the ball to fall.
Right, a couple shots right off the back iron. Just take another look at the foul. When Jacksonville plays this tough man-to-man, you can get plays like that on top of the box.
Gilbert thought about a three. Now they go inside. The shot's going to be partially blocked on the inside. White shot is blocked. They'll get it outside to Horton, who had 33 last night, but he nor any of his Jacksonville teammates have been able to find the basket so far. They go inside, a nice knockaway on the inside by number 20 of Geraldine. That was Justin Murphy, but Jacksonville gets the junk basket and puts it back in. Martavius Long.
Just a good job there, staying alert and staying alive there by Long, able to get the easy basket.
Geraldine slowing things down. They'll walk it across half court with Willoughby. Willoughby looking for Gilbert. Now they're going to go outside to Murphy. Murphy puts up a three-point shot, and the threes just keep raining in for the Geraldine Bulldogs.
That three was set up by a great screen there by Geraldine. Left him wide open.
There's Horton, takes it coast to coast. Off, no good. Rebound going to be taken by Troll on the inside. And then he'll draw a foul. Good penetration by Horton. Couldn't get the ball to fall. And then Troll with the strong rebound. So foul going to be called on Geraldine. That's their first foul of the game. But Troll on the inside, just by his mere size, is making his presence known here in this first quarter, Gerhard.
Exactly, and you're seeing a lot of big guys today in basketball where they like to shoot and get away from the basket. Troll, the complete opposite. He goes down there in the low post and he forces turnovers, because whenever you have guys contesting your shot, a lot of times you're just longer than them. You're just bigger than them. They have to foul you, just like we saw in that last possession.
Horton to Ackles, and Ackles pass on the baseline. Kicked out of bounds, going to be knocked out by Brett Armstrong. It will remain with Jacksonville. 4:09 to go. Geraldine with 3 3-pointers and a 7-point lead. On the inbounds to Horton, looking to penetrate, cut off. Good defense by Gilbert. Now penetrates inside once again, off no good. And Geraldine controls the rebound. Looking to run now is Cade White. White, coast to coast, underhanded shot, up and in. He will be fouled, and it will be a chance for a three-point play.
Yep, they don't get three-pointer from the outside. They're going to try to get it from a nice foul there and try to get the third point from the free throw line. And we're seeing Geraldine really attack Jacksonville a couple of different ways, attacking with the penetration in transition and then the pick and pop out to the three-point shooters there. That's what's led to a 10-point lead. But if you're Jacksonville, you're really not playing all that badly. It's just that the balls aren't falling.
Yeah, shooting percentage is not good right now for Jacksonville. Good looks at the basket, but not able to get any to fall. That one does not fall either, as Hill's shot is off no good, and another rebound by Geraldine. And White does it all. Rebounds, penetrates. He can shoot the three as he does right here. That's an air ball, but look at that hustle. He came all the way from outside the three-point arc to try to get the rebound and almost got his very own rebound on the baseline.
You could tell where their energy comes from. It comes from White, and as you said, he knew the shot was going to be off. He had a great contest there by Troll. Troll might have got a hand on it, but the effort was right there, and that's the reason why White has led this basketball team.
Horton off-balance shot, the ball just not falling. Troll with the rebound, puts it up and in, and finally Jacksonville is able to score their second bucket of the game to cut it back down to single digits.
You just keep chopping that wood, and you feel like it's going to go in at some point, and finally Troll there gets reward.
Talked about White. He put on a good show here last year. He's a complete player, three-point shooter, ball handler, runs the floor well, good on the inside, good rebounder. And then this is an off-balance shot by Justin Murphy. That shot is off no good. Jacksonville gets the rebound. Tay Ackles, pretty good running back for the Jacksonville football team with a rebound. Makes the skip pass over to the far corner over there looking for Hill. Hill's pass is going to be knocked into the Geraldine bench, and it will be with the Jacksonville Golden Eagles.
Good shot there for William Fuller, getting his first action today.
Jacksonville bringing in Josh Glass off the bench, his first play of the game. Number 12, sophomore for the Golden Eagles. Gets it into Horton. Horton, one dribble, puts up a three and nails it. That's what we expected from the senior Cam Horton with a long NBA-style three-pointer.
Yep, and that's his range, and they're not bad shots when they're out there. He's taken a few of those and finally got one to drop.
Penetration by Willoughby, takes it all the way inside. Big guy off the bench with a rebound for Geraldine. That's Tate Ritchie. Ritchie loses control of it. Out of there comes Jacksonville. Horton goes inside to Hill, and Hill's going to be fouled, so that'll be Ryvan Hill at the line to shoot two.
Nice athletic move there by Rylan Hill. Gave himself a chance at the three-point play there. Split the double team, and he'll have two shots.
2:15 to go. Jacksonville has cut the Geraldine lead down to 5. They could cut it down to 6 with a made free throw. Misses the first one, another one coming. Right now, Jacksonville on a 5-0 run after trailing by double digits at one point, 12-2. Glass goes back out of the game. Jacksonville making some wholesale substitutions here. Going to bring in another big body on the inside with Jacksonville. They'll bring in KJ Satcher. Free throw is off and actually made by Jacksonville, so they cut the lead even further down to 12-8. Willoughby looking to penetrate. Good defense by Jacksonville on the outside, extending the defense, challenging every pass are the Golden Eagles. Gilbert, baseline, now back outside, and we're going to have a foul called, and they will call that one, it looks like, on Tay Ackles. Looks like they're going to have a hold over there on Justin Murphy.
Ackles tried to pull back, but it was just a little too late there. Good call there by the official. Seeing that, recognizing that, and you want to make sure you call those early on, set the tone of the game.
They go alley-oop on the big alley-oop, and what a great idea it was as they go into the 6'10", 319-pound Tate Ritchie.
Talked about Troll having size for Jacksonville. Ritchie coming off the bench for Geraldine, and that's a big man right there if I've ever seen one.
6'10", 319. Jacksonville back on the offensive end as we go under 90 seconds here in the first quarter with Geraldine up by 6. Deep into the corner they go to Tay Ackles, and Ackles nails a three from right in front of the Geraldine bench. Another NBA-style three for the Golden Eagles.
Almost the same spot as when Cam Horton hit one earlier. Good job there by Jacksonville cutting this to a three-point game.
Willoughby to Gilbert. Gilbert now back outside to Murphy. Murphy running 8-footer just inside the free throw line. Nails it for the Geraldine Bulldogs. 5
points for him, and we're starting to see the scoring go up here as the later part of the first quarter. Both teams, you have to feel like getting their legs up under them now and getting used to this environment, used to this court.
Jacksonville missed some easy shots earlier, but they're nailing them now. Another shot almost made by Cam Horton. Shot off, no good. Geraldine doing a good job of not allowing any second shots by Jacksonville as they get that rebound again after the missed shot, and that's going to be Murphy inside. All kinds of players on the floor. 2 Jacksonville players and a Geraldine player tie up under the basket. And the possession error will be in favor of Geraldine.
Taking another look there at the fight for the ball, and tell me December basketball doesn't matter? No, I don't think so. These teams are really getting after it, and a lot of this point of the season, you're really trying to build some confidence, build some cohesiveness with your team, and so both teams really getting a lot of that right now as the shot goes off the back iron.
Willoughby to Gilbert, misses the 15-footer. Rebound Jacksonville. Nice job of driving the floor. Glass puts up a shot. Off, no good. Battle for the rebound. Glass comes up with it on a jump rebound. Kicks it outside to Horton. He puts up a 3. Contact, no foul. Rebound by Glass. Back outside to Ackles, who puts up a 3. He misses off the back of the iron. Jacksonville really hitting the glass. We talked a lot about Geraldine hitting the glass, but Jacksonville that time with about 4 rebounds to end quarter number 1, with Geraldine maintaining a 5-point lead at 16-11 here at the TV24 Holiday Classic here at JSU. We will take a break and we'll be back with second quarter action from JSU. Back at the TV24 Holiday Classic at JSU, quarter number 2, Geraldine leading Jacksonville 16-11. Our courtside reporter is Mickey Shadricks. Mickey, what do you have for us?
You guys have talked a little bit in this game so far about the cold shooting for Jacksonville coming out of the gates. One thing that folks may not realize, today, a Saturday, is one of the ACT Saturdays, and Coach Ryan Chambliss was very concerned. He had a handful of guys taking the ACT today. Fortunately, they were able to get here, but they got here right at warm-up time. So, hey, maybe some of these guys have been taking tests all morning. We all remember how that was back in the day, so maybe they're starting to get a little warmed up now.
Thank you, Mickey. That's a very good point. I've seen a couple of other teams that are missing some players today, having to bring up some players maybe from junior high to fill out the roster here at the Classic. And right off the bat, as we begin the second quarter, you see the big guy, Tate Ritchie, with a clean block out around the free throw line to turn it back over to Geraldine. On the inside, Willoughby, and there's Ritchie again with a rebound, has it knocked away by Horton. Horton goes up, grabbed the rim as he was out of control and lost the basketball. Shows his athleticism. Geraldine comes down with the rebound. From the outside, that is Brady Gilbert, the 5'11 junior, nails a beautiful three-pointer.
His second three-pointer of the game. He's at 6 points, and that's just a huge, huge play there by Geraldine, and just kind of indicative of the way this game's gone.
4 3-pointers in the game, as now we've got the 2 big guys in there. Troll challenging Ritchie, misses the shot. Rebound by Geraldine, except for that flurry right before halftime where Jacksonville got about 4 rebounds in a row. The defensive boards have been controlled by Geraldine so far in this game. Another long-range three-pointer going to be put up over there by Justin Murphy, knocked out of bounds, and it will go over to Jacksonville. But 4 3-pointers in this game, 12 of the 19 points by Geraldine coming from beyond the three-point arc.
And they're a fun team to watch because they can shoot that three-pointer so well. So you're typically never out of a ball game if you can shoot it from deep, and that's exactly what these Geraldine Bulldogs do.
And they got an old-fashioned three-pointer, so really 3-point plays for 15 of their 19 points. Shot by Hill is off, no good. Troll with the rebound right in the face of Ritchie, puts up a shot, and there's a lid on the basket for the most part, especially inside for Jacksonville so far in this first half.
They're getting exactly what they want. Shots just aren't dropping. You have to figure that as this game goes along, they will find that touch.
Geraldine, baseline drive. Nice defense over there by Hill, and that defense creates a turnover because 5 working on 5. Gilbert foot on the baseline, and to make it complete, another Gilbert calls the out of bounds, the referee, Alan Gilbert.
Absolutely, a great officiating crew for this game and really all the games that we have today, and highly appreciative of them. And we talk about the players getting their first action here at Pete Matthews Coliseum at the newly renovated Pete Matthews. So are the officials and the coaches.
Hill misses the shot. Again, Geraldine with a defensive rebound inside. A little bit of a push off there, no call, and it'll be Justin Murphy with a nice shot.
Murphy just muscles his way in.
Underhanded shot on the other end. Nice penetration to the basket that time by Cam Horton. Beautiful shot on the other end by Horton for Jacksonville.
We've seen his athleticism really all game long. He could do it off the dribble. He could do it shooting. He finally gets one there to go. And you're seeing just the kind of talent that he has. He scored 30 points earlier this season. You have to figure as his year goes along.
Cade White has been kind of quiet here for the last couple of moments, but that time good penetration, and he's working on the inside on Jacksonville's Martavius Long. Long called for the foul, and so we'll see White at the line to shoot 2 for Geraldine, as Geraldine has extended their lead back out to 8 with 2 made free throws here. Gerhard, they could go back up by double digits again. They led 12-2 at one point. Jacksonville has kept it a single-digit game up until this point, and he can make another free throw here, and he's a good free throw shooter. It could be a 10-point lead again.
That's exactly what he does there. Cade White with another basket. Stretching this lead out to 10 as we hit the 5-minute mark of this second quarter.
On the offensive end now. Nice move to the basket by Hill. Hill's shot is off, no good, and another defensive rebound by Geraldine. Geraldine looking to run. Penetration by Willoughby. Cut off on the inside by Hill. Back out to White. White thinking about a 3, launches a 3, and nails it. That's the 3rd 3 of the game for Cade White. And head coach Ryan Chambliss of Jacksonville has seen enough. He wants a full timeout.
You're seeing exactly the way he did it, too. He was able to get him, not necessarily with a pump fake, just with a slight ball fake, able to create some separation, hit there and pop that 3-pointer. As you said, his 3rd 3 of the game. He also has the 2 for 1 earlier. He's a fantastic player for these Geraldine Bulldogs.
Yeah, now Geraldine with their largest lead of the game here at the 4:47 mark, 26-13 as we see the Jacksonville bench. And we see Ryan Chambliss talking to his team there. Obviously, got to do something to cut down on these 3-pointers. This is the 5th made 3-pointer by Geraldine here in this first half, and we're not even at the halfway point of the second quarter.
Right, they've been playing man-to-man really all game long. We'll see if after this timeout they come out with a little bit of a different defensive strategy, but so far this has been all set up by the Geraldine ability to make their 3-point shot, and they've made so many of them so far, 5 of 9. So they have to defend that 3-point line a whole lot better, Jacksonville does.
They're shooting at, close to about 60% from the 3-point arc is Geraldine. You see Ryan Chambliss there. Great coach, done a great job with Jacksonville. Wanted a full timeout there to kind of talk about what they're doing defensively. Now we're going to see Geraldine with a little bit of some full court pressure here. Going to pick up about 3/4 court full court pressure here with Geraldine. Cam Horton coming across the half court mark. Doing it with Tay Ackles. Ackles down the glass. They go to the big guy, Satcher, and he'll have his shot rejected by an even bigger guy in Ritchie. So not even a shot technically for Geraldine that time before they turn it back over to Geraldine.
That's the kind of presence he brings. I mean, he's just so long and so big. And there he gets the offensive foul on a push-off there on the inside. So his aggressiveness is good in some areas because there is a nice block, but then he gets it on the other end and he pushes off. And he's just a big man. He creates a lot of mismatches in this game.
Sometimes you wonder, Gerhard, if a guy really is 6'10", 319. Tate Ritchie is 6'10", 319. I can assure you, this is a big guy in the inside for Geraldine. Long pass, almost thrown out of bounds by Hill. Ackles gathers it in, launches a 3 off, no good, and the big man gathers another rebound for the Bulldogs. Here comes White. White handles the ball, then goes outside, launches a 3. This one off, no good, but the rebound going to be taken by Murphy. Murphy penetrates inside, an off-balance 8-footer, no good. Jacksonville finally gets the rebound. Glass, errant pass knocked away by 3 purple jerseys on the inside as Willoughby. His shot off, no good. Ball tapped out by Ritchie to Jacksonville. Horton inside, gonna be fouled. Will they say a basket? No, Alan Gilbert says no. It was on the floor, so that will be a foul on the floor, but really a great effort by Cam Horton just to get that shot off.
His first step is just so fast, and you're taking a look here at the athleticism on the back end of this play. The basket does go in, but as we said, the foul is on the floor, so he will not shoot free throws, but he's just showing off that amazing athleticism. He's so quick off that first step with the basketball.
Glass on the inbounds, and Jacksonville's going to bring their big guy in. You know, you start looking at Troll. We mentioned Troll. He looks like he's at least 6'7" or 6'8", but, you know, He's the small guy on the floor, and Geraldine takes their big guy out. Jacksonville puts their big guy in, and Geraldine takes the big guy out. Jacksonville has a new player in the game who just launched that shot. That's freshman Alex Gilbert. His shot off the back of the iron, no good. We've seen a lot of those Jacksonville shots careening off the back of the iron, but Jacksonville gets the offensive rebound this time as Horton puts up a three off no good, and another defensive board by Geraldine. Murphy ahead to Armstrong, shot on the outside, and that's going to be another three-pointer by Geraldine.
Yeah, you just can't leave these guys open for that long and that wide. I mean, there was absolutely nobody around him, and Armstrong buries that.
Sixth three-pointer of the game by Geraldine, extending their biggest lead of the game. Horton inside, shot, bounce around. Finally, the iron was good to him that time as that one fell for Cam Horton. 14-point lead for Geraldine. They have played some fantastic basketball here in this first half. On the inside is White. White's shot is off no good. He'll be fouled by Troll. And I think what we're seeing as we take a look at the replay here and that penetration by White, who we say can do everything. Gerhard, I think what we're seeing here is experience. This looks like a team, Geraldine, that's played 8 games, and it looks like they played double the amount of games that Jacksonville has.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing it in the way they're not only playing, but the way they're setting up their plays. You're seeing White do a good job of getting, whenever he has a smaller guy on him, he tries to set himself open for a three-point shot. There he had Troll on him, wisely took the ball inside, penetrated, and got the foul.
White misses a rare free throw. Another one coming. This one he nails. It's the first free throw he's missed. That's really about the first of anything that Cade White has missed. And Geraldine has now doubled up Jacksonville at 30-15. This is Horton working on Gilbert. Over to Hill. Lost control of the ball, now penetrates inside. Thought about a shot, goes outside, nearly stolen away by Geraldine. Ackles penetrates inside, ball is off, no good. Rebound going to be taken by another new player in the game for Jacksonville, and that is Will Fuller, sophomore, getting the basket for Jacksonville.
Nice effort here by Jacksonville, and really just kind of, in the hockey terms, just cleaning up the trash, making sure you get your hands and corral the basketball whenever there's a lot of hands in there, and turning it into points.
Now some full court pressure being applied by the Golden Eagles. Hill working on Gilbert. Gilbert launches a three, partially blocked, and they're going to say a foul, so they'll call a foul over there. 5 working on 5 as the foul will go on Jacksonville's number 5, Ryvan Hill.
Coach Ryan Chambliss did not agree with that call. It looks like it seemed a little bit late, but it looked like a good call. Got into the body there on the three-point shot. He will get 3 free throws here.
Both of these teams seem to be playing about 8-9 players, would you say, Gerhard? Going fairly deep in the bench.
Absolutely, and really with a pace like this, you want to get a lot of legs in there. And just like Mickey alluded to earlier, some of these guys took the ACT, and so some of them might not have their legs all under them right now. So you want to be able to, get some guys some rest, get some other players in. And really, like we said earlier, this is the point of the season. You want to see who can help you out down the stretch. So you want to get guys a whole lot of quality minutes at this point of the year.
Gilbert was standing in front of the Jacksonville bench when he shot that, so it was a 3-point free throw opportunity. He made the front end and the back end, missed the one in the middle, so makes 2 out of 3. Geraldine back to a 15-point lead.
Got some substitutions here for Jacksonville. Talked about how both these teams are substituting a lot. Ryvan Hill goes out, as well as number 15 for Jacksonville, William Fuller. Back into the game for Jacksonville is Kenneth Satcher.
Satcher, a big guy, and Geraldine has another big guy that they just brought in, Ivan Benitez, 5'10", 280 on the inside. Wow. 319 and 280. 5'10", 280. He is a big young man on the inside for Geraldine. This is Horton on the outside, launches 3 off, no good. Rebound going to be taken by who? Geraldine. Another defensive board for the Bulldogs.
Every now and again, you get those loose ball plays, and Geraldine seemingly jumping on most of them.
Gilbert's shot is off, no good, does not draw iron, right into the hands of Horton. Horton going coast to coast, and he slammed it, and then he took a scary, scary fall there as he fell right on his back and maybe even the back of his head. An impressive display by Cam Horton, but that is as tough of a fall as I've ever seen.
Absolutely, and really everybody in the entire arena gasped at that one. As you take a look there from our sideline camera.
Brett Armstrong of Geraldine came right into our camera. You saw the look on his face.
Right.
And then just a tremendous, that's scary. That is as hard of a fall as I've seen in this arena through all the years.
Absolutely, and you're seeing both coaches from both Geraldine and Jacksonville taking a look at Cam Horton, and really you mentioned it, and we didn't get as clean of a shot there with that camera because the Geraldine player went into the camera. You didn't see his head, but it sounded like after his tailbone hit, his back hit, and then his head hit there, and they're going to go through the entire concussion protocol. Concussions right now a huge emphasis in this sport. Wow, they're trying to get a trainer out onto the court right now. You don't want to get him up too early, but you're right. That's one of the scarier moments that we've seen here.
We have trainers here. I've seen those guys earlier. We'll get them out here. They're bringing some, it's like they're bringing a towel under there to put under his head, or the Geraldine coaches. And that is one of the scarier things that I've seen in high school basketball. They're trying to lift him up. And I'll tell you, most folks would have a tough time. I'm surprised a little bit that he wasn't knocked out as he gets a nice hand from the crowd here. That was a tough, tough fall.
Yeah, and we'll take another look at this in slow motion.
Out of nowhere, one, the athleticism.
Absolutely.
Shows what a great athlete he is to dunk that basketball. But then he fell really on his shoulders, but also the back of his head there as well, right in that neck area.
The look on Josh Glass's face there as soon as he hit, it kind of mirrored the look of everybody in this arena as we're hoping that man is well. It looks like right now he's walking off on his own power. He might have.
Yeah, they're going to get him into the. They're going to get him into to see the trainers, and they'll go through the complete. As you said, Gerhard, you make a good point. I think you have to go through when you see a fall like that, right, you have to go through a complete concussion protocol. And he was not. This is not a foul. He was not hit by anybody. This was just the result of falling after he skied up in the air. Gosh, how far was he in the air? Probably when he fell, his head probably fell 8-9 feet, something like that.
Exactly. He dunked the basketball. Let's not lose sight of the fact that he got the basketball. He got the basket he got the basket to fall, and they're now sorting out the time and substitutions and all that right now on the court. But he did get the ball to drop, and then as he was going down, lost his footing on the way down. And as you said, there was no foul. And Armstrong got out of the way there. He just lost his footing, and his legs got underneath him. He hits the back of his head. And as you said, the concussion protocol really does take effect in these kind of games and these kind of situations. And really, even if it's nothing, you want to make sure that it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it that made it so scary is he hit the floor totally horizontal. His whole body was horizontal.
Right.
So there was, when we talk about falling flat on the floor, as you saw from the replay there, perhaps he fell flat to the floor.
Exactly, and you're going to take another look at it. And another thing is he really didn't have his arms beneath him.
And his legs were all the way up in the air. You see on the replay, his legs were up above his head.
So we will look to get some clarification here, but Geraldine is shooting 2 free throws right now, and looks like Mickey Shadders will get on that to see exactly what the call is here.
All right, Geraldine, after the free throws with the basketball. We get a look at Ryan Chambliss there, who's now without his best player. There's no doubt about that. Cam Horton is the guy that makes this Jacksonville team go, and he is now out for the game. It's Geraldine basketball with a 15-point lead at 34-19, just a minute or so before halftime. On the inside, they try to go inside to Brett Armstrong. Armstrong is going to be fouled on the way to the basket. He's going to be fouled by Satcher over there. And the look on Armstrong's face, he was about to collide with our camera down there in the end zone. And he was out of control as well. And the look on his face is he knew he was about to collide with our camera down there.
Absolutely. We did get some clarification on Geraldine's 2 free throws. Coach Ryan Chambliss of Jacksonville was issued a technical foul on the way off the court. So obviously he didn't agree with something that the official said, and he was given that technical foul. So that's the reason why we got the 2 free throws coming out of that injury. And speaking of injuries and well wishes here, Cam Horton back into the basketball game after that scary moment. It's a good shot here.
That's amazing. Horton back in, and look how aggressive he is. Right after taking a hit like that, he comes all the way back in, and look at this young man. All the way penetrating right in traffic again, and puts up a nice shot and makes it. He draws the foul. That's a tough young man. I will tell you that. He's a lot tougher than I am. I would be out like a light for the rest of the game if that had happened to me, as most folks would. Just a great competitor is Cam Horton.
Absolutely, and that competitive spirit seen through and through, and he was holding the back of his head after that free throw, so you could tell it probably still hurting him a little bit, just the pain of the floor hitting the back of his head. But he's back into the basketball game, and he missed the back end of the free throw, but Jacksonville does get the rebound here and a chance to score again.
Horton missed a couple of shots. Tay Ackles got a rebound, missed a shot. Hill with the rebound. Back to Horton as we go under 45 seconds in the half. Horton, one step, launches a three, off no good. Rebound again by Geraldine, and the foul's going to be called by Glass. Good strong rebound in there by Aaron Slayton, a 6'3", 190-pound senior off the bench for Geraldine. I think the story of this game, in addition to the three-point shooting by Geraldine, has been they are just not allowing Gerhard any second shots for Jacksonville for the most part.
Yes, exactly, and they're corralling every single loose ball. It seems like we'll get the rebound numbers overall, and especially the defensive rebounding numbers for Geraldine. I'm interested to see that because, as you said, Jacksonville not getting very many second chance opportunities because of the way Jacksonville's able to, or way Geraldine's able to corral the basketball. And in that situation, they got the basketball and then they got the foul.
Slayton misses the free throw. This is Ackles on the far end, puts up a shot off no good. And that's going to be a rebound taken by Ackles. So Ackles doing a good job of getting an offensive board for Jacksonville. Penetrates inside, leaves it short, off no good. Rebound going to be taken by Jacksonville's Alex Gilbert, and the freshman puts it back up and in for the Golden Eagles.
It's a good put back there by Alan Gilbert.
Some pressure now by Jacksonville as we go under 10 seconds. It's Geraldine's Jordan Sisk. Sisk back out to Benitez. Shot launched at the buzzer. Another three-pointer by Brett Armstrong at the buzzer. The seventh three-pointer of the game by Geraldine.
Absolutely fantastic shooting spree here by Geraldine, especially in the second quarter. They started off the game hot. They ended hot. They will take a big 16-point lead to halftime.
On the strength of 7 three-pointers by the Geraldine Bulldogs, the guys from DeKalb County lead it over Jacksonville by 16 here at the TV24 Holiday Showcase. Back at Pete Matthews Coliseum in Jacksonville in just a moment. Game number 3 of the 2015 TV24 Holiday Showcase on the campus of Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville. Halftime of our third game with the Geraldine Bulldogs in command, leading Jacksonville very impressively. Gerhard Mathangani, 39-23. John Holder, Gerhard Mathangani here back with you at halftime of this game. And three-pointers, 7 three-pointers in the first half by Geraldine. Actually, in rebounding, Jacksonville's out-rebounded Geraldine, but on the defensive end, where we were talking about second shot opportunities, Geraldine outscoring or out-rebounding Jacksonville 19-11. Big difference there on the offensive end for Jacksonville, just not getting any second chance points.
Absolutely. Jacksonville is really playing less efficiently than Geraldine is. Geraldine's only put up 24 shots, but they've made a lot more of them. You alluded to the 7 three-pointers that they've made so far. And one of the biggest things that Jacksonville is doing in this game is they're getting a lot of shots. They're really getting the shots they want. They've put up 47 shots overall compared to 24 for Geraldine. But the thing is they're not dropping. And a lot of those started to drop towards the middle part of the second quarter. We'll see if that can, come back in the third quarter. But as of right now, Jacksonville getting the shots they want, just not dropping. That's the reason why they're in this hole.
You see that in the shooting percentage because it's 46 for Geraldine to 21 for Jacksonville. And then an incredible 58% from three-point land for Geraldine as they have been lighting it up. And, when you are outshot by more than double as far as percentage goes, you expect to be behind, and that's where Jacksonville finds themselves. As you've mentioned, Gerhard, they've had very good looks at the basket.
Yes.
Very good looks at the basket. The ball movement and the shot selection has been outstanding, but they just haven't fallen here. If they can get these shots to fall in the second half, and if they can get Geraldine to cool down a little bit from three-point land, this thing could tighten up very easy.
Exactly, and a lot of those is just small things. Maybe it's just a ball rotation going a little bit off, and so you'll want to see them get back into it after when they warm up here in the second half, get the shots that they missed in the first half and see if they fall in the second half.
Gerhard, we mentioned some of the first half stats. Take us through some of these as we see these on the screen now.
Well, the two things that really stick out is what you alluded to earlier. 58% from 3, 7 of 12 Geraldine is. And then you look over at the field goal percentage for Jacksonville. They're shooting 10 of 47. That equates to 21%. They actually have 23 points in the game. That's probably the reason why. Shooting 13% from downtown as well. 2 of 16 Jacksonville is, and 3 turnovers apiece for both. We talked about the rebounding earlier, but the rebounding numbers are a little bit off pace. It's kind of like time of possession football. The rebounding numbers are off pace mainly because Jacksonville's shooting more shots, and they're not getting those shots to drop. Geraldine is shooting less shots, and they're actually getting those shots to fall. And so overall, 46% from the floor. And that's exactly what we're seeing in this game. These numbers below the score really kind of point to the game that it's been, especially from 3.
Yeah, both of these teams played last night, so they're playing. We're getting to that time of year where you're playing a lot of times on back-to-back nights. Does not seem to have affected Geraldine. This is their 9th game of the year. They played last night a win against Brindley Mountain. Pretty emotional game because for Jacksonville last night, their first area game. They're on the road at White Plains.
Right.
You know what kind of environment that is. A big rival game. They lose the game by 23 last night, 74-51.
Right.
Kind of hard to get back up again, and especially with an early game. I mean, you're playing last night and you come back in less than 24 hours later, playing against a team you really don't know a lot about after playing a big arch rival and a big emotional area game last night.
Not to mention the fact that a couple of these players took the ACT earlier this morning, so it's been a long 48 hours for this Jacksonville basketball team. We'll see if they got some of the early rust off after last night and then after this morning and being able to get back. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are kind of unmitigating factors that led into this basketball game for Jacksonville. We'll see if they can get back into the way they want to play a little bit later on. They didn't start playing until December 1st. That Coach Ryan Shambles wanted to kind of backload his schedule. And so this is kind of the early growing pains that a lot of teams go through. Jacksonville's going through them right now.
Well, they've Geraldine, talking about this team, not only do you play a good team last night in White Plains, obviously, but you come back in and you have another very good basketball team, which obviously Geraldine is coming in here. And for Geraldine, this is a team that has played a lot of big, they're used to playing teams out of their classification. They really have not played really anybody within their classification until the Brindley Mountain game last night. But they played 4A Sardis, 5A St. Clair County, 5A Boaz, 4A Crossville. All of those were wins, by the way. Their only losses on the season, they lost to the number 5 team in 2A section by 9, and they lost to 5A Springville by just 1 point on the road. That team right there, Gerhard, is the number 1 team in the state in Class 1A, and you're defending Class 1A state champions with 4 out of 5 starters back, by the way. The Sacred Heart Cardinals. This is a team we're going to see coming up in just a little bit. As a matter of fact, our next game here on the TB24 Holiday Classic.
It's a treat to see these guys, and we've been following them really over the last 2 years as they've really made their run here in Calhoun County. They've made their mark, and they were one of the best teams last year in the entire state of Alabama, regardless of classification. And they brought almost everybody back from last year's team.
They beat number 1 7A Spain Park in Hoover at Spain Park by 27 points.
Wow.
Now, it's just an amazing. We shouldn't be amazed because Sacred Heart's been doing this for the last 2 or 3 years.
Right.
They have been the giant killers. There's no question. They're the giant killers of high school basketball in this state, and they're doing it again this year.
Exactly. They've been to the state. They've been to Birmingham, what used to be called the Final 48. Now it's a state championship. They went to the Final 48 2 years ago. They played against a school that's no longer a school, and then last year they played against Sunshine, and Sunshine closed down out of Hale County. And so it seems like their path to the championship just keeps widening and widening and widening. And, Coach Ralph Graves has done just a tremendous job with these guys and a tremendous job with the school overall. And they bring a great crowd here. They have great support coming out of Anniston, Alabama. And there will be a treat to watch a little bit later. And they will play Carrollton, Georgia, a team that won the 4A state championship in the state of Georgia last year.
We have some tremendous matchups today. I'll tell you, that's going to be a tremendous game coming up. And then after that, we've got the number 6 team in 3A Plainview against the number 5 team in 4A Cherokee County. After that, a Cherokee County team that I also think brings back 4 out of 5 starters off a team that was ranked number 1 for most of the season last year before losing here in the Northeast Regional.
Absolutely, and you have to know that itches back to come back into Pete Matthews Coliseum in a couple of months and be able to claim that regional title and head to Birmingham. But it all starts with a game here today and being able to get on this floor in this environment is kind of a precursor to February.
Well, let's see if Jacksonville, as we begin this second half, let's see if Jacksonville can maybe take the lid off that basket a little bit, and let's see if Geraldine can continue their hot shooting ways. Should be a very interesting second half as we begin. Quarter number 3 with Geraldine leading Jacksonville by 16, 39-23. John Holder along with Gerhard Mathangani, Mickey Shadricks roaming the sidelines here for this great matchup between Geraldine and Jacksonville in boys high school basketball on a December warm 75-degree afternoon here in Northeast Alabama. Geraldine will begin the second half with a basketball. White is wide open, did not take the three. He's certainly capable of throwing it. They throw an alley-oop, and he does a reverse layup underhanded. It does Cade White. What an awesome play. Perfect pass, perfect catch, perfect shot. What a great way to begin this third quarter for Geraldine.
This guy is just so fun to watch. He was wide open at the three-point line. They did not come out to attack him. We'll see what they call here. No continuation. Jacksonville will get this ball. But he's just an unbelievably fun player to watch. They did not contest the three-pointer. Wisely put it in the hands of somebody that can get the ball back to him on the give and go, and he executed it to perfection.
White is a complete player. We mentioned before, it's worth looking at again. First, a great pass, and then a great toss, and just lays it up and in. Just a super athletic play by White. Rebound, look at that by Trull. Gets the rebound off the missed shot. I don't think he saw the basket. He just twirled around and threw it up and in. Very athletic move by Casey Trull on the inside for Jacksonville.
Both teams have a lot of size, a lot of presence. Trull there for Jacksonville getting the basket. They'll get the foul here as well.
Foul going to be called on Jacksonville's number 12. That's Josh Glass. The inbounds from the near sideline. They'll get it into Brady Gilbert. Gilbert working on Glass now, looking to penetrate, kicks it deep into the corner. Lost control over there was Armstrong, who lost control of the basketball, went into the Geraldine bench, and a rare turnover by the Bulldogs.
Interesting thing what both Coach Black and Coach Chambliss are doing with their big guys in substitution. We haven't seen the two big guys on the court for very long, maybe just a minute or two. For the most part, they're trading them out and trying to play off each other's smaller guys.
Trull goes from the inside to Long. Long powers it up underneath the basketball, and he'll draw the foul.
Nice play there. Just going up with it, getting the foul call. He's now at the free throw line, trying to carve into this Geraldine lead.
10 working on 10. That's Long working on Armstrong. Armstrong called for the foul. And the free throw by Martavius Long. Long has another one coming. Jacksonville trying to cut into that Geraldine 15-point lead. Ball rims out and then falls in for the Golden Eagles.
We talked about the three-point shooting for Geraldine. Another quality aspect of their game is their free throw shooting as well.
2-on-1 break. Geraldine makes an errant pass. They're going to go outside to White. Launches a three from deep in the corner, right in front of the Geraldine bench. And the great ones make it look easy, Gerhard, and he made that look easy.
Absolutely. Just in the corner, wide open, hits the three.
Lob pass. They're trying to go inside to the big guy, Trull. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Geraldine. It will remain with Jacksonville. They're going to go back outside. Will the Golden Eagles to Hill. Hill an NBA three, and he nails that one. Much needed three-pointer by Ryvan Hill, the Golden Eagles.
Take another look at it. Geraldine didn't expect him to shoot from that long, but he can shoot it and he can make it from distance.
Hill working on Brady Gilbert. Ball going to be knocked away, and we're going to have a push called on Geraldine. So Jacksonville maybe with a chance to do something here, Gerhard.
Absolutely, and it's a good call there on the wing. Got the foul. That's another thing to watch out for as this game rolls along, is both teams are really, really strong free throw shooters. You would have to wonder if Jacksonville will just try to get Geraldine in foul trouble, get themselves on the free throw line and create some offense that way.
A careless pass by Hill, easily stolen away by White. White now will reset the offense as he hands it off to Willoughby. Shot outside, three-pointer is off, no good by Brady Gilbert. Rebound Jacksonville. Tay Ackles looking to run. 2-on-2 break, puts it up and in, and the shot will count. The foul is going to be called on Geraldine, and that is exactly what Jacksonville needed, Gerhard. Down by 15 and a chance to cut it down even further.
Good job by Tay Ackles putting his body in between the ball and the basket. Got the foul call on the ball, or on his body, but the ball was clean and clear, able to get the shot he wanted off the glass in and got the foul.
Geraldine led by 18 just a couple of moments ago at 44-26. A three-point shot cut it down to 15. Now another three-point opportunity with a made free throw here by Tay Ackles, and they could cut this thing all the way down to, 12 points in this game.
He does exactly that, and this is exactly the way Jacksonville wants to creep back into this game, but they need stops on the other end.
Baseball pass, they tried to snowbird, didn't work. The pass was too long. A save over there by Geraldine, but right into the hands of Jacksonville, and another three-pointer by Rivenhill, and we are seeing Jacksonville on a big run now, and we're going to see a timeout called by Geraldine. Kel Black has seen enough of that. What was an 18-point lead just about a minute and a half ago, Gerhard has been cut in half now.
We've seen this work on both sides. Geraldine did it first. When they got on a three-point shooting spree, Coach Ryan Chamberlain said, I've seen enough. See, same here now with Jacksonville. Ryland Hill, 2 3-pointers, and then they got the three-pointer the old-fashioned way earlier with Tay Ackles. And Coach Cade Black says, I've seen enough as well, as now this drops into a 9-point game.
A pretty incredible run here by Jacksonville. They actually trailed by their largest deficit at 18. They got a three-pointer, got an old-fashioned three-point play, get another turnover, and get another three-pointer. We talked about at halftime, could Jacksonville take the lid off that basket a little bit? Gerhard, they've done that here in this third quarter.
Early signs of that, and you had to figure early on in this game they just weren't getting the shots they wanted, maybe just didn't get as much warm-up time as they needed to get into the flow of this game, especially with the different game time as you talked about earlier, but now it seems like Jacksonville's found their groove.
For the first time since the first half, Jacksonville has cut it down to single digits. Geraldine trying to answer. Good pressure defense by Jacksonville. The switch off and a reach-in foul going to be called on Tay Ackles. Good idea defensively. I like the setup. He was coming off a pick, really didn't see Ackles, but Ackles reached in and got him with his body.
Just an aggressive defensive play there by Tay Ackles, and that's actually just their second team foul for this half. So it's a good safe, if you want to call it a safe foul this early on in the second half for Jacksonville.
Aggressive defense by Jacksonville. They'll get it out to their big guy, White, 6'4", but he can run the floor and handle the basketball. Ball going to be knocked away by Jacksonville. Tay Ackles very active again. He knocked that one out of bounds for the Jacksonville Golden Eagles.
They have him matched up on White in that possession, and he did not want White to penetrate on him. Goes after the ball, actually tips the ball and goes out of bounds.
Ackles going to come out. Martavius Long, another starter, coming back in as they'll give Ackles a little bit of a break. Inbounds goes to White. White to Gilbert. Back to Gilbert. And Gilbert's going to shoot an air ball out of bounds, and another turnover for Geraldine. So again, a 9-0 run that Jacksonville is on, and Gerhard, they've got a chance to go even further. Some three-quarter court pressure being applied here by Geraldine. Dangerous pass. They're going to get it ahead, and off the bench is Long, puts up a wild shot. Rebound taken by the big guy, Ritchie.
It's the first time in really a long time we've seen both Troll and Ritchie on the court at the same time. We'll see if either team will want to exploit the matchup and go down to the low post and get these guys a one-on-one opportunity.
Gilbert tried to make the long bounce pass as he was looking inside there for Murphy. Going to be knocked out of bounds again by Ackles. The inbounds pass knocked away. White gets the rebound, puts up a shot off, no good. Jacksonville's got the numbers. Glass 1-on-2 actually, and loses control of the basketball. Going to be knocked away, going to be stolen by Willoughby. Willoughby into the front court looking to penetrate. An elbow thrown out there, no whistle called. Elbow, I should say, Willoughby gets his own rebound. Shot going to be off the front of the rim. No good. Over there by Murphy, and now they're going to slow things down. Murphy looking to penetrate, does penetrate, puts up a shot, off no good, and a travel call. Good call by the official there as he traveled in the lane.
Absolutely. A little frantic pace so far, a little helter-skelter. And that kind of went both ways. The official on the baseline called a foul, overruled by the guy who had a little bit of better angle of it, saw the travel before the foul. So we have the turnover for Geraldine. It's Jacksonville basketball.
In basketball, many times we say taking a step. I think he took about 3 on that one. That was pretty obvious. I'm horrible at officiating, and I even could have called that one. Some more three-quarter court pressure being applied by Geraldine. Jacksonville on a 9-0 run. Neither team really has scored here in about 2 minutes, so Jacksonville trying to break that scoring drought by both teams. That's Hill. On the outside, three-point shot is off, no good. An air ball by the freshman Alex Gilbert. Rebound taken by White. White uncontested into the front court. Going to be picked up by Long. Go deep into the corner by Willoughby. Willoughby launches a 3. That's another air ball. This rebound going to be taken by Jacksonville. As Ryan Hill got the rebound, but did they say he stepped on the line, Gerhard?
Yes, they do say that. I was wondering if they called a foul down there, but they did not. They said he just stepped out of bounds. Geraldine basketball.
Geraldine, a good inbounds play coming off the pick. They set up a nice screen, and coming all the way down the lane was White, and he got an easy basket.
It looks like it was a double screen set up there for White, and as Ryland Hill hits another three-pointer, we're seeing some really good basketball out of both clubs.
Yeah, Ryland Hill's made 2 consecutive three-pointers. Just pulled up at the top of the lane and got that one. Jacksonville with the steal, Long with the steal, misses the shot. Ball's going to be taken and controlled by Geraldine. That's going to be Colby Lee Mincy. He's the starter. First time we've called his name. As he's going to go to the, there's the foul. Is he going to be fouled by Troll as he goes to the line to shoot 2, does Mincy.
Yeah, just a good aggressive play there by Mincy. He saw that Geraldine had numbers going on in transition. Able to get Troll into the body, get the foul, and hits that first free throw.
Jacksonville had cut the lead down to 8. That free throw kicks it back up to a 9-point lead by Geraldine. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the third. Geraldine has led it all the way. Their largest lead was 18. And they're back to a double-digit lead at 10 now at 48-38. More substitutions. Tay Ackles back in the game for Jacksonville, and Brett Armstrong back in for Geraldine. Very entertaining basketball game. A lot of athleticism, Gerhard, on both ends.
Absolutely. We're seeing really a lot of different ways, seeing good shooters from both clubs with Ryland Hill and Cade White, and also good penetrators with Cam Horton, as well as some of the other players from Geraldine.
Tay Ackles penetrating that time. Ball knocked away. Willoughby takes it into the hands of White. White looking to penetrate, working on Ackles on the far side wing. Skip pass out here to Armstrong, and then Armstrong to Willoughby, who will reset the offense for Geraldine as we approach the 2-minute mark of the third. Willoughby, that's just too easy. Working on Aaron Bragg, who's new in the game, and he just dribbled into the paint and took it all the way in for an easy layup.
It's just good penetration there and a great basket by Geraldine. That's what they've been doing a lot here in the second half.
Ackles launches a 3. That'll be short. Air ball right into the hands of White. White dribbles behind his back, crosses half court, into the front court now. Going to leave it over there for Murphy. Murphy looking to penetrate, double team, back out to White, thinks about a 3, and he not only thinks about it, he contemplates it, and then he makes it happen.
When you're one-on-one with White, you can't leave him open, and I know what they were trying to do. They're trying to stop the penetration there, but you left the best shooter on the team wide open. He makes him pay.
Back to a 15-point lead by Geraldine, who had been cut down to 8. But now we got a foul on the other end. This will be Tay Ackles. He was penetrating baseline, and he'll draw the foul. So this will be Ackles at the line to shoot 2. That is what, 8 or 9 three-pointers in this game by Geraldine. Ackles makes the first free throw. More substitutions. Satcher comes into the game. Satcher's a big. Satcher has been a big cog on the inside, big offensive lineman in football for them. And Gerhard, you pointed out to me, we have not seen Cam Horton in the second half for Jacksonville. He was injured on that slam dunk, as we see a alley-oop on the inside going to Ritchie. Knocked away and stolen by Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's going to come back with it with Martavius Long. Long to Hill, now to Glass. Glass launches a 3, rims out, no good. Ball tipped back outside, almost to half court to Hill. Hill to Ackles. Ackles looking to penetrate. Ball going to be knocked away. 3 players on the floor. We'll have a jump ball situation. And we have not seen in the second half here in this third quarter with about a minute to go in the third, we've not seen really the best player, the leading scorer for Cam Horton, the senior, since he took that. He came back in and played a little bit in the second quarter, but we've not seen him here in the third quarter.
Just got word from Mickey Shadrick that he is out. They haven't diagnosed him with a concussion. He did come back, as you said. He looked a little woozy. Did hit a 3-point play the old-fashioned way late in the second quarter, but he is out, not even on the bench for Jacksonville, so he will not return for this game.
Tay Ackles with the shot on the other end, and I have to laugh just a little bit for Geraldine because White missed the shot. He was standing out of bounds. Troll knocked it out of bounds, and it landed right in the hands. White was standing on the goal, and he just caught it. The look on his face was priceless. Ackles penetrating inside. White gets another rebound. He said, "Good job, big guy, but you batted right to me, but the problem is I'm standing in the baseline." 22 seconds to go. 11-point lead for Geraldine. Looks like they're going to play for the last shot here in the third quarter. Willoughby working on glass. Willoughby off his feet, now goes outside to Armstrong, launches a 3, no good. Glass has the ball with 5 seconds, 4. He'll be fouled. They're going to call that foul on Brett Armstrong. Working on Josh Glass right in front of us here in front of the bench here at JSU.
Yeah, Coach Cade Black, you don't want to see that foul, especially right before the start of the fourth quarter, and you were going to get a timeout anyways, and you set up a hard shot. Nonetheless, Geraldine does get the foul. Their 6th foul of this second half, so one more, Jacksonville will be in the bonus.
Big guy on big guy. I tell you, if Richie's a legit 6'10", then I think Troll is a legit 6'9", and a half-court shot at the buzzer's off, no good. And we end the third quarter with Geraldine leading Jacksonville by 11, 53-42, here at the TV24 Holiday Showcase at Jacksonville State University. TV24's live coverage of the 2015 TV24 Holiday Classic continues here at Jacksonville State University. Beginning the fourth quarter of Geraldine in Jacksonville. John Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, Mickey Shadrick's with you as Geraldine has an 11-point lead to begin this fourth quarter as we begin what has been an entertaining and very athletic basketball game here on this second week in December. After the inbounds, ball is turned over to Jacksonville, and Tay Ackles takes it to the other end of the floor and lays it up and in, and back to a 9-point lead for Geraldine. Geraldine misses a shot on the other end, and the ball is going to be battled for, and Jacksonville comes out again. Golden Eagles trying to make another run. Ackles coast to coast again. This one no good. Troll tried to put it back. His shot off, no good. Now Geraldine running. That's going to be Murphy on the other end, banking it up and in. Geraldine back to an 11-point lead.
It's a good penetration, good move there by Geraldine, and able to stretch this lead out. And this is exactly what Geraldine needs. They know Jacksonville will make a run, but if they can just continue to keep it at a 10, 11-point game, they know they'll be in good shape, especially down the stretch.
Geraldine on the inside, shot is, I should say Jacksonville on the inside, shot put up by Hill, banked off, no good. Geraldine, defensive rebound. Walking across half court, this is Austin Willoughby. Willoughby will hand it off to White. Cade White inside, shot is off, no good. Rebound, battled for, controlled by Geraldine. Another rebound by Geraldine. White puts up a shot, and I think he's going to draw a foul from Troll on the inside, and he'll be at the line to shoot 2.
It's just like volleyball. Just keep the ball in the air is what he said, and able to get the foul call there on Troll. For Jacksonville, that makes 5 team fouls as White heads back to the free throw line.
You got to take your hats off to these guards for Jacksonville. With Cam Horton being out of the game for the rest of the game, the guards have had to really step up. He was their leading guard, kind of ran the show offensively, but it's been a nice job by both Riven Hill and also by Tay Ackles of kind of taking up the slack here for Jacksonville. Geraldine gets one shot. And then on the other end, the big guy, Troll, makes a shot, cuts it down to a 10-point lead once again at 56-46.
That's the matchup I wanted to see at the beginning when the two big guys are matched up against each other down in the low post. Troll wins that one.
Ball is knocked out of bounds, saved momentarily, and then right back out of bounds It was the last touch by Jacksonville. Yeah, we got the big guys in there. 6'10", 319 Tate Ritchie of Geraldine, and at least a 6'9". We don't have the exact stance on him on Troll for Jacksonville. Bodies on the floor will have a foul called. And they'll call that foul, looks like, on Geraldine, so it'll be Jacksonville basketball.
They do call that on Geraldine. They call it on Cade White.
Jacksonville has made some runs here, a couple of very nice runs here in this second half, but they have not been able to get any closer than 8 points before Geraldine goes on a run of their own. So again, Jacksonville trying to make a run here with 6:03 to go to try to get this back down to single digits and get it within striking distance toward the end of the game.
With about 6 seconds to go in the end of the third quarter, Geraldine had a foul that created their 6th team foul. Now they have 17 fouls. Point of emphasis here for Jacksonville is they'll be on the free throw line for the rest of the game as far as fouls are concerned. We'll see if they use that and play more aggressively towards the end of this game.
Long misses a shot on the other end, and we come down to this end. How about Ritchie with that hook shot? A banked hook shot from about 2 feet away. Good athletic maneuver by Ritchie. Inside Ackles, the big guy had his arms up, but the other big guy for Jacksonville gets the rebound and the putback and a chance for an old-fashioned three. They did a good job that time of pulling the big guy out. Ritchie went for the swat, didn't get it, and then the rebound on the missed shot by the big guy, Troll, on the inside to put it back up and in.
Absolutely. Good athleticism there by Troll, and we're seeing both of these big guys really go to work here for their clubs, and I'm sure there'll be 2 big cogs for their teams as they head down the stretch of this game, because a lot of these kind of games you want to be able to put it away physically. And if you're Jacksonville, you want to be able to stay close, stay tight, and you could do both things. You can accomplish both goals by playing physical down low.
Gerhard, to your point of emphasis, Jacksonville now going to have the opportunities at the free throw line, but they're not taking advantage. They have missed their last 2 free throws. So on the other end, here comes Geraldine. Shot is off and no good by Murphy. Jacksonville with the rebound. So again, a chance to cut it down to single digits. Ackles launches a 3 and another air ball. So Jacksonville's had the opportunities. This is 3 opportunities in a row. 2 of those at the free throw line to really cut into some points here. And just really not taking advantage of the opportunities Geraldine's given them.
As long as this double-digit lead stays in this fourth quarter, it puts more pressure on Jacksonville to make shots late in the game. But if you make them here, able to cut into that lead, you take a lot of that pressure off yourself later on in the game. We'll see how these next 2 or 3 minutes roll out for Jacksonville.
Jacksonville can be aggressive on the offensive end because they will have a bonus situation the rest of the way to maybe force some fouls. On the inside, Geraldine goes to Ritchie. Ritchie shot is off, no good. Rebound going to be taken by Geraldine, but they're going to say knocked out of bounds and last touch by the Bulldogs, Brett Armstrong. So here's another opportunity. About the 4th opportunity in a row Jacksonville's had to cut it down to single digits.
They're getting the job done on the defensive end, getting stops, and now they need to produce on offense.
Ackles on the inside going to have a foul called. I think they're going to call a hack on the arm on Geraldine's Justin Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy just a little too aggressive there, and just a good job by Jacksonville penetrating and making sure they got the foul call. Troll was sitting right there in the middle, so he was kind of impeded by his own teammate, but Geraldine able to get his hands in on the ball, and Jacksonville goes back to the free throw line, and he hits that one.
So made free throw by Tay Ackles. That's big, cuts it down to a 9-point lead. Geraldine with more substitutions. You see 24. Aaron Slayton saw some action in the first half, coming back in for the Bulldogs. And there's Tay Ackles at the line trying to make 2 out of 2. And he does complete both free throws. So an 8-point lead, and now some full court pressure by Jacksonville. Near steal by Long. Austin Willoughby working on Long. We're going to have a foul called on Long with the body along that far sideline. 16 foul whistled against Jacksonville. So on the next foul, Geraldine will be in the bonus as well. Inbounds comes into Willoughby. Willoughby will reset the offense for the Bulldogs of Geraldine. 4.5 to go in the game. Willoughby inside, nice pass on the inside. Good interior pass to Colby Lee Mincy. Mincy draws the foul, will be at the line.
Just a good basketball play there. Mincy attacking the basket, going inside. Troll, a nice physical play. And he gets the foul call on him as he hits with the arm. Interesting point here, John. You talked about earlier in the game how both Coach Chambliss and Coach Black are going to their bench. 11 players have seen action in this game for both teams. 11 players for Jacksonville, 11 players for Geraldine. 7 players for Geraldine have seen at least 5 minutes. 9 players the same for Jacksonville. So a lot of guys getting quality minutes in this game.
Mincy makes 1 of 2 free throws, so it remains a single-point lead. Ackles with a 3, and he nails it. That's a huge basket for Jacksonville. This is as close as they have been since the first half, as they've cut it down to 6, 59-53. Approaching the halfway point of the quarter, and another foul called on Jacksonville as they call it on Hill.
Hill didn't like that call. It came a tiny bit late. It was on the floor. That gives Jacksonville 18 fouls, and so back to the 1-and-1 situation for Geraldine.
Jacksonville brings the freshman Gilbert in, and also they bring in Josh Glass. Glass has logged a lot of minutes off the bench for Jacksonville this afternoon. Free throws now important for Geraldine. They make the first one. It's Colby Lee Mincy, the 6'1 senior guard, nails the first free throw. 7-point lead. Got to take your hats off to Jacksonville. They were down by 18 points and playing without their best player because of an injury, and they have battled back to cut that lead down by 2/3 to 6. It's now back up to 8, but a lot of tenacity, really guts shown by Jacksonville here in this second half.
Yeah, just 4 games into the season, and we already had a 30-point game from their key player, Cam Horton, and we're going to get a foul call here up top, and some of the fans here do not agree with that one. They thought that big Tate Ritchie got the ball clean there. It's a good shot of the big fella, but
they went to the big guy, KJ Satcher, but he ran into an even bigger guy in Tate Ritchie, who I think it's safe to say that Tate Ritchie's the biggest guy in this arena today, period. I don't think I've seen anybody so far that's bigger than this guy at 6'10", 319. The free throw is going to be made by Satcher. Satcher not as tall, but Satcher's looks like he's what, 240 or 50 pounds maybe inside, and maybe about 6'1", something like that, but he dwarfs in comparison to Ritchie. Misses the second free throw, so it remains a 7-point lead for Geraldine. Rebound going to be taken by the Bulldogs. Penetration inside by Mincy. Mincy puts up a shot. He's going to be fouled, and I think they may call Satcher on that.
yeah, it looks like they could have gone a couple different ways there. They do call it on Satcher. Alex Gilbert was right there in the vicinity as well. You talked about the size for both these teams, and we're seeing it. Saw it with Ivan Benitez earlier. We talked about the 2 big fellas for both Jacksonville and Geraldine, and you have another big guy, KJ Satcher, who, after picking up the foul, will come out of the game, and then another big fella, Troll, will head back into the game.
Mincy was 1 of 2 his first trip to the line, made his first one and makes his second one here, so he's 3 of 4 from the line today. Geraldine back up to a 9-point lead, and we'll have a timeout called. Looks like this timeout's going to be called a full timeout by Geraldine, as Coach Cale Black, I think, probably this last 3:49 trying to discuss their strategy here to how to handle this last half of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, because they know Jacksonville will make a run. They also probably know Jacksonville will be aggressive. And so the keys kind of for Geraldine right now is continue to stay aggressive just like Jacksonville is staying aggressive, and continue hitting free throws, because as long as they do that, they'll keep this ball game at the margin where they want it, in that 8 to 10 point area.
I think regardless of who wins or loses this game, I think you're going to see both coaches very pleased with this. I think Ryan Chambliss, obviously, when you lose for the second half, your leading scorer, and to see his team, when they could have packed it in, to fight back like this and continue to fight, win or lose, that's a great sign for him. And I think, Cale Black's got to be pleased with his team, because from horn to horn, they have played very good basketball the entire game.
Exactly, and whenever you do have a player, we talked about earlier, that is the obvious leader, he is the obvious catalyst for the team, like as Cam Horton is, sometimes you get too dependent on him, and it's good to find out you have other guys that can step up, and that's exactly the answers that Jacksonville's getting today.
Getting ready for this last half of the fourth quarter, it will be Jacksonville with the basketball. Running the point now, Ivan Hill. Hill to Ackles, who's been very active in Horton's absence here in the second half. Hill has the ball knocked away, gonna be stolen by Willoughby. Good defense by Willoughby, goes to the other end, puts it up and in, banks it in, 3-point play. Good defense, good transition, good offense by Austin Willoughby.
That's exactly what you want if you're Geraldine. Continue to be aggressive on both sides of the ball. They got the steal there, they got the turnover, and then Willoughby stays aggressive, stays in that mindset, able to get the basket and the foul.
You know, Willoughby, we don't talk enough about him and what he means to this team, but he is a steady, fine point guard. Usually when you're the point guard, you don't want your name called a lot. And that's what we've done with Willoughby. He's been kind of the guy that just runs the show, doesn't make mistakes, plays great defense, and makes shots when he has the opportunity. Jacksonville misses a shot, ball knocked away. Who controls it? Troll, inside, back outside, and we're going to see 3 seconds in the lane. That was pretty obvious. Troll camped out in there. Easy call for official Alan Gilbert.
Yeah, you can camp out down there as long as you don't touch the basketball, because then you get seen and you get noticed. And when Troll was trying to take as many eyes off him as he could, just trying to get that ball out, but they'll call it by their officials.
Willoughby, good speed. Willoughby flying into the front court, fouled from behind by Long, as we have seen Geraldine do all day. One of the things about playing, I guess you could call this a road game, playing Jacksonville in Jacksonville, even though this is not their home arena, is you have to withstand runs.
Right.
And Geraldine up by 18, cut to 9, all the way down to 6, took it right back out to 15 points. Jacksonville cuts it down to 6. Now they're right back up by 9. This is actually back up by 12 again. They doubled it back out. So Geraldine's done a good job of withstanding the runs, even though they don't make the free throws here.
They embrace the runs. They know that Jacksonville is going to make them, but they have a response each time. That's exactly what you want to see for Coach Black.
Akel's running jumper from around 8 feet away, and Jacksonville just refuses to go away. Back down to 10 with 3 minutes to go. This is Mincy. Mincy on the baseline. Great baseline move. And then great shot at the end.
First half was a lot of Cade White. Second half, really tip your hat to both Mincy and Willoughby.
Akel's off-balance shot under all kind of pressure. No good. Rebound going to be knocked away. Controlled by Jacksonville for just a moment there, as that was the freshman Gilbert, but then it's going to be knocked out of bounds, and they're going to discuss whose ball this is. I thought it was Jacksonville's ball, and I think that's what the officials are talking about here. Now, Mincy's over there arguing, going, yes, it's purple ball, but they're going to reverse it. I think that's the correct call. I think Jacksonville does get the basketball here.
Yeah, he saw a slight smile on Mincy's face when he tried to convince the refs that it was Geraldine basketball, but they got together, made a good shot and good basket.
Jacksonville gets the shot off the rebound, and they're going to get a full timeout. So Jacksonville just refuses to go away at the 2.5-minute mark.
And if you're Jacksonville, this is what you want. You want to make sure that you kept it close with Geraldine. You knew you were going to go on a run, but Geraldine has done a great job really sustaining all their runs. But this is a key point of the game where Coach Ryan Chambliss knows where his team can get a couple stops and a couple of baskets on the other end. They can put themselves in position to win this game.
Yeah, and if you're Geraldine, this is where free throw shooting becomes very important, because you know Jacksonville, 2.5 to go, down by 10. They pretty much, if they can't get a steal in the inbounds, they've got a foul. And so then it becomes, you can't lose the game if you make your free throws. I'm sure that's what Kel Black's probably telling his team over there, guys. Let's, 1, take care of the basketball. 2, when they foul, which they're going to do, make your free throws.
Exactly. And it's a good shot there of the Geraldine huddle. And they want to come right back here in February. This is a place they know well. And really, these kind of games are the games that you do get in February. Games where strategy is very important. Games where free throws are very important. So the lessons carried over from here in December can reverberate there in February.
Folks, you do not go anywhere. As good as this game has been, coming up next, Mickey Shadricks, you'll be here doing the color for that game. I'll be on the sidelines for Sacred Heart and Carrollton, Georgia. Awesome game coming up next.
Absolutely. Battle of 2 state champions in the 2014-15 school year. We'll see what they have coming up for this year.
Geraldine takes care of the first part of the equation. That's taking care of the basketball. White now just going to bring it all the way out to half court. Jacksonville probably needs to foul here as we approach the 2-minute mark. Geraldine doing a really good job of taking care of the basketball. White to Murphy. And that little popcorn offense, ball stolen away and very nearly controlled by Tay Akel's. Almost a fantastic steal by Akel's.
Yeah, and it looked like Jacksonville had a good defensive possession there. You talked about getting the foul, and this is a point of the game where you feel like a foul might be what you want to go with from a strategic standpoint. Jacksonville doing a good job there on defense. We'll see if they want to foul here on this side of 2 minutes. And Coach Ryan Shambliss does want his guards to come up and cover Cade White.
White crosses half court. And Jacksonville looks like they're just pleased to maybe not apply any pressure here. This is going to be White inside. Looks for the big guy, Ritchie. They extended the defense out and forgot about Ritchie, and a nice assist on the inside by White.
That's a backbreaker for Jacksonville because you get two of the guys that have been really the best players in this entire game, Ritchie and Cade White, as we get a foul here on White.
Good steal in there by Gilbert, but then a good knockaway, as you'll see right there. But they got him with a body, I think is what they're going to call Cade White for the body foul. And that's going to be 5 fouls on Cade White, but I want to take my hat off to that guy. That's a complete high school basketball player, as complete of a player as you're going to see.
Absolutely. He has been just the player so far that has really been the biggest contributor to this lead here for Geraldine. And I want to mention to you, coming up at the end of the game, we will catch up with our RMC player of the game. That player will get a gift certificate courtesy of RMC and TV24. We'll also catch up with the winner of this game. Too close to call right now. Looks like Geraldine will come out victorious, but Jacksonville still with a lot of fight here with 1:23 left.
Gilbert makes both free throws. Long pass into Willoughby. Nice job by Willoughby to break away from the pack and receive that inbounds pass. 1:15 to go. Both free throws made by Gilbert, as we said. 10-point lead now, and a near steal, and it is a steal, and then a travel. Good call by the official. Both players really had their hands on the ball, but a good steal by Ackles, but this seemed like that Ackles and Hill were there together.
It was perfect defense really by two guys that led to a turnover, and it's just at this point of the game you hate to see that because that is a tremendous effort by both Ackles and Hill. They do get a turnover on that side.
Murphy on the inbounds looking for some help. They're going to go into a new player, Avery Byers, in the game now playing guard for Geraldine. Willoughby, 55 seconds to go. And they're going to go backdoor once again, and right off the bench, Avery Byers, the 5'11 junior, with the backdoor cut and a nice no-look pass by Willoughby to find it.
We've seen Geraldine set that play up a couple of different times, and there it pays off again as we get another basket here by Ackles, and Coach Shambliss calls the timeout.
Can't say enough about how Tay Ackles has brought it in the second half. There you see Ackles with that off-balance shot once again for the basket. Ackles really had a lot on his shoulders here in the second half with Cam Horton out of the game with that injury that we saw in the second quarter, and he has responded. Done a very good job of taking up the slack for this Jacksonville Golden Eagle team.
Exactly, and he knew as soon as Cam Horton went out that he was going to be the guy that was called upon to lead this basketball team, and he's done a fantastic job so far. Again, it's a 10-point deficit with 37.6 seconds to play here, and as we talked about earlier, this is game 3 of a full slate today here at Pete Matthews Coliseum.
Barring something miraculous happening, it looks like for the second year in a row, Geraldine is going to come right down to the heart of Calhoun County and knock out a Calhoun County 4A school. They came here last year at the TV24 Holiday Showcase, and they knocked out the Sachs Wildcats, were very impressive, and now they come back this year, second year in a row, and it looks like they're going to knock out another 4A Calhoun County school, or the 3A Bulldogs in the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. I think the folks from Geraldine like coming down here and playing in the Holiday Showcase. On the inbounds, Geraldine, deep long baseball pass, knocked away. Who touched it last? Tough call for the officials here. Alan Gilbert says last touch by Geraldine, so it will be Jacksonville basketball. Golden Eagles just so impressive with their no-quit attitude.
That's exactly what you want to see if you're Coach Ryan Shambliss, especially at this point of the season, very early on. Only played 4 games as Ryland Hill spots up for 3 and misses on the back end.
Rebound going to be taken by Jacksonville. That's going to be Fuller's shot off, no good. Another shot put up by Long, and he'll draw the foul. And there's a lot of fight. I agree with you. Ryan Shambliss has got to be very pleased. Early in the season, this is only the 5th game that Jacksonville has played. And I think by the time they get into holiday play, Calhoun County tournament play. It's going to be a team that's going to be dealt with because they've got some talent and they play very, very hard.
Especially when they get Cam Horton back, what they're able to see on film is other guys that can make plays for this team, especially down the stretch of basketball games where you're not having to rely on one guy the entire time. But every team wants that guy you can give the basketball to late in games. This is exactly where they would use Cam Horton a whole lot, and they would have him. Hopefully, he'll get better and he'll be ready to play as soon as they tip off the next game. But just a fantastic effort here by Jacksonville. No quit and no fight.
Second,
all fight here.
Shot by Long was gone, and then we have a foul. I think that may be on Long as well. As Geraldine will go to the free throw line, and that's going to be the 5th personal foul on Ryven Hill. So Cade White fouling out for Geraldine, and then Ryven Hill fouling out for the Jacksonville Golden Eagles with 19.6 to go. We will catch up with Geraldine coach Cale Black, and we will also catch up with our RMC player of the game, and I don't think there's any question who that is going to be. That's going to be number 42, Cade White.
He was a monster all game today. Fouled out a little bit earlier in the 4th quarter, but Geraldine already had this game about well in hand, and his fellow troops helped seal it out.
Off the bench for Jacksonville, Colin Casey, a junior, puts up a shot off no good. We'll have another hold called over there. That hold will be on Jacksonville as well. And we are just moments away from the end of this game. We'll bring you some post-game interviews with the winning coach and player of the game, Cale Black and Cade White from Geraldine. Mickey Shadricks will have that for us, and then Mickey and myself and you, Gerhard, will be back to bring you all the action of Carrollton, Georgia, and Sacred Heart. Huge matchup, one of the marquee games. I think it's one of the marquee games in the state this week in high school basketball coming up.
Exactly, and Coach Raphael Graves, we've seen him a lot over these last couple of years win a Calhoun County basketball championship, then ended up winning a state championship last year, rolled through their region, and they like to play high-quality competition. They've played teams out of the Atlanta area already twice this year. Today playing Carrollton. We'll see that game after this one.
Mincy makes both free throws, pushing the Geraldine lead to 13. Three-point shot, the buzzer is off, no good. And Geraldine wins game number 3 of the TV24 Holiday Showcase with a 76-63 win over the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. Mickey Shadricks will stand by in just a moment. He'll have first, we'll have the RMC player of the game. That will be Cade White. And he'll also have the head coach of the Geraldine Bulldogs, Cale Black, standing by in just a couple of moments. I'm impressed by both of these teams. I think as we see both of these teams improve through the holiday season into January, they'll be heard from.
Absolutely, and you expect Geraldine, the way they played today, to come right back here in February for the Northeast Regional. A long time before that time comes up. But as you said, both teams really found their groove here towards the end of the second half.
Mickey Shadricks standing by with the winning coach and the RMC player of the game.
John and Gerhard, I'm here now, as John just said, with our RMC player of the game, Cade White. I'll start with you, Cade. Great game today. You guys came in here last year at this same event. You beat a very good Sacs team. Big win for your team today.
Yes, sir, it is.
You shot the ball very well right out of the gate. Talk about the type of start you got off to and how important that was, because Jacksonville made it a game in the second half.
Yeah, we did. I've been struggling from the three-point line the last couple of games. Team effort, really.
You've got a good inside game and a good outside game. Talk about what you were able to do today.
It was really the teammates just working the ball around, getting the best looks they could. Really good team win.
Congratulations, you are RMC player of the game. For that, we've got a $25 gift card for you, compliments of TV24 and RMC. Congratulations, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, joined now by Coach Black. And Coach, let me first get your thoughts on that young man. Another good game for him today, right?
Oh, yes, sir. He's really matured a lot as a senior now. And, taking on a leadership role. His talent's obvious, but this year he seems like he's grown, mature, and leading the other guys on and off the floor.
What do you think was the key today? It seemed like, to me, you just shot the ball so well, especially early when they were struggling a little bit.
Obviously, early out of the gate, we made some shots, and I tell the guys all the time, we're a lot better team, we're making shots. But, limiting, the Horton kid, he's a super athlete, limiting him and, coming out and just getting an early start. And, but I give Jacksonville credit. They fought all the way to the end and, made a game late.
You guys played in this event last year, had a good win against a good Sacs team. Here you are back this year, but a much different look to Pete Matthews Coliseum. Let me get your thoughts on getting to play a game in the newly remodeled Coliseum.
Oh, it's great. I'd seen pictures, but to walk in, it's outstanding and it looks great. And, more of an atmosphere, feel like you're closed in, and especially the seat backs all the way up. I think fans will really enjoy this.
Well, Coach, congratulations again on the win today, and best of luck to you the rest of the way.
Appreciate y'all hosting this. Great event.
All right, guys. That is Coach Black here. His team successful today at the Holiday Showcase with a big win over the Jacksonville Golden Eagles.
Thank you, Mickey Shadricks. Mickey will work his way over to the bench to bring you the play-by-play along with Gerhard of the next game coming up between Sacred Heart and Carrollton, Georgia. There's your final. Geraldine beating Jacksonville 76-63 here in game number 3. Game number 4 is on the way. And talking about our player of the game, Cade White, 23 points in the game, 13 for Colby Lee Mincy. But we've got a lot of stats to look at, some individual stats, but here are the important team stats, Gerhard.
Absolutely. You saw 76 points there, led by Cade White with 23, as you said, but also Colby Lee Mincy came up big with 13 points. And a lot of that came in the second half, and then they also got 9 points from Justin Murphy, another 8 points from Brady Gilbert, another 8 points from Austin Willoughby. Willoughby and Mincy were really two catalysts there late in the game. But for Jacksonville, another great game by Tate Ackles. And really what the key for Jacksonville is that when Cam Horton went out, and you heard Coach Black talk about just how athletic he is and just what of a special player he is, when he went out at halftime, never returned, Tate Ackles really took the reins of this ball club, scored 25 points, and really helped Jacksonville towards the end. Now that field goal shooting percentage, a little bit of a misnomer here because they shot so poorly in the first half, and they're trying to really get back from that. Rebounds go Jacksonville's way. Turnovers really about even today. The key, though, was Geraldine's ability to hit the three-point shot. They hit 7 in the first half. They finished with 9 in the game.
Yeah, Tate Ackles winds up being the leading scorer in the game. He actually outscored Cade White with 25 points in the game. Also in double figures for Jacksonville, Ryven Hill with 10, Cam Horton with 11. And the thing about that is Cam Horton did 11 points in basically not even a complete half of play. So you got to wonder if Jacksonville had him for the whole second half, a 100% healthy Cam Horton in the second half. He scored 33 last night against White Plains. You just wonder how this game may have come out. Not saying that would have been the difference in the game, but certainly that would have been some kind of a performance to see by Cam Horton in the second half.
Exactly, especially towards the end of the game where they cut it down to about an 8-point game. That's exactly where you want your main player to kind of take over the game. They didn't have that today. Tate Ackles did a great job, as you said, led all scorers with 25, but they didn't have their superstar in the game, and that's exactly where you would have him kind of take control of the game as late, and that's exactly what Jacksonville was missing today when they cut that lead down to 6 points and 8 points late.
Aside from Cade White, who had 23, very balanced scoring for Geraldine. Their only other double-figure scorer was Colby Lee Mincy, and just about all of that came in the fourth period. 13 points, 8 in the game for Austin Willoughby, 8 for Brady Gilbert, and then 9 points in the game for Justin Murphy. We are getting set for an exciting, one of the top games in the states of Alabama or Georgia coming up. Sacred Heart and Carrollton, Georgia, as the TV24 Holiday Showcase continues live from Jacksonville State University.